Announcer bot is active. The race session is at original made by Tantra for GTR2 in 2007. Basic conversion to AC by Mechanic 72. 2021 rework by Pugsang in Welkom, South Africa. Danny van Rooyen from Netherlands is first. Dylan Visagi from South Africa is P2. Mike McGeer from South Africa is third. Peter Grobler from South Africa is fourth. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa is fifth. Lionel Klug from Italy is sixth. Danny van Rooyen is first. Peter Grobler is fourth. Peter Geldenhuis is fifth. Tommy Glad from South Africa is P6. Ernest Heather from South Africa is 8th. Mike McGeer is 3rd. Peter Grobler is P4. Peter Grobler lost P4 to Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis is 5th. Lionel Klug is P6 battling Tommy Glad. Tommy Glad is P7, 0.2 ahead of Ernest Heather. Tommy Glad lost P7 to Ernest Heather. Janine Glad from South Africa is 9th, 0.2 behind Tommy Glad. Mike McGeer is P3, 0.3 behind Dylan Visagi. Peter Grobler is 4th. Peter Geldenhuis is 6th. Mike McGeer on lap 3 is 3rd, 0.2 behind Dylan Visagi. Peter Grobler is P4. Peter Geldenhuis is P5, 0.2 behind Peter Grobler. Lionel Club from Italy is P6, 0.4 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Leon van Linden entering the pits is 10. Mike McGeer is third, 0.4 behind Dylan Bizagic. Lionel Club is P6, 0.3 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Lionel Club lost 7th to Tommy Glad. Lionel Club lost 8th to Janine Glad. Mike McGeer on lap 4 is third, 0.4 behind Dylan Bizagic. Leon van Linden exiting pits. Janine Glad is P8, 0.8 behind Tommy Glad. Mike McGeer is third, 0.3 behind Dylan Bizagic. Janine Glad is 8th, 0.5 behind Tommy Glad. Mike McGeer is third, 0.2 behind Dylan Bizagic. Janine Glad is 8th, 0.2 behind Tommy Glad. Mike McGeer is third, 0.4 behind Dylan Bizagic. Leon van Linden entering the pits is 10th. Janine Glad from South Africa is 8th, 0.3 behind Tommy Glad. Mike McGeer is P3, 0.3 behind Dylan Bizagic. Janine Glad on lap 6 is 8th, 0.4 ahead of Lionel Club. Leon van Linden exiting pits. Lionel Club is P9, 0.1 behind Janine Glad. Lionel Club passed Janine Glad for 8th. Mike McGeer is P3, 0.5 behind Dylan Bizagic. Peter Geldenhuis is P5, 0.5 behind Peter Grobler. Mike McGeer is third, 0.4 behind Dylan Bizagic. Peter Geldenhuis is P5, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Mike McGear is third, 0.6 behind Dylan Visaggi. Peter Geldenhuis is P5. Dylan Visaggi is P3, 0.6 behind Mike McGear. Peter Geldenhuis is P5, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Dylan Visaggi is third, 0.6 behind Mike McGear. Peter Geldenhuis is P5, 0.3 behind Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler on lap 10 is 5th, battling Peter Geldenhuis. Lionel Clue is P9, 0.5 behind Ernest Heather. Peter Grobler is 5th, 0.4 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Janine Glad is 7th. Dylan Visaggi from South Africa is P3, 0.5 behind Mike McGear. Peter Grobler from South Africa is 5th, 0.3 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Janine Glad is P7, 0.2 behind Tommy Glad. Lionel Clue is P9, 0.6 behind Ernest Heather. Leon van Linden entering the pits is P10. Dylan Visaggi entering the pits is 2nd. Peter Geldenhuis entering the pits is 9th. Lionel Clue passed Tommy Glad for P7. Announcer bot is active. The race session is at original made by Tuntra for GTR2 in 2007. Basic conversion to AC by Mechanic 72. 2021 rework by Pugsang in Welcome, South Africa. Leon van Linden from South Africa is P1. Lionel Klu from Italy is P2. Ernest Heather from South Africa is third. Janine Glad from South Africa is P4. Tommy Glad from South Africa is P5. Dylan Visagi from South Africa is 6th. Leon van Linden is 1st. Lionel Klu is 2nd. Ernest Heather is P3. Tommy Glad is 4th. Dylan Visagi is 6th. Peter Grobler from South Africa is P7. Dylan Visagi is P7. Dylan Visagi passed Peter Grobler for P6. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa is 8th. Lionel Klu is P2, 0.2 behind Leon van Linden. Leon van Linden is P3, 0.1 behind Lionel Klu. Danny van Rooyen from Netherlands on lap 2 is 4th, 0.4 behind Dylan Visagi. Peter Geldenhuis is P6 battling Tommy Glad. Peter Geldenhuis is now 5th. Tommy Glad is P7, 0.2 behind Peter Grobler. Mike McGeer from South Africa is P8, 0.2 behind Tommy Glad. Dylan Visagi is P4, 0.4 behind Danny van Rooyen. Peter Grobler is P6, 0.3 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McGear is 8, 0.4 behind Tommy Glad. Tommy Glad is P8, 0.1 behind Mike McGear. Danny Van Ruyen is second. Lionel Clue is P4, 0.3 ahead of Peter Grobler. Tommy Glad is P8, 0.4 behind Mike McGear. Danny Van Ruyen is second, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Lionel Clue is fourth, 0.1 behind Dylan Visagi. Peter Geldenhuis is P5 battling Peter Grobler. Lionel Clue is fourth, 0.4 behind Dylan Visagi. Peter Geldenhuis on lap 5 is sixth, 0.2 behind Peter Grobler. Lionel Clue is P4, 0.3 behind Dylan Visagi. Peter Geldenhuis is P6, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Lionel Clue is P4, 0.7 behind Dylan Visagi. Peter Geldenhuis from South Africa is 6th, 0.3 behind Peter Grobler. Dylan Visagi is 3rd, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Lionel Clue is P5, 0.3 behind Peter Grobler. Peter Geldenhuis is P6, 0.3 behind Lionel Clue. Dylan Visagi is P3, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Lionel Clue is 5th, 0.4 ahead of Peter Geldenhuis. Mike McGear is P9, 0.3 behind Janine Glad. Dylan Visaggi is third, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Dylan Visaggi passed Ernest Heather for P2. Ernest Heather is P3, 0.2 behind Dylan Visaggi. Peter Grobler is P4, 0.4 ahead of Lionel Klug. Lionel Klug is 5th. Peter Grobler is P4. Lionel Klug is P5, 0.7 behind Peter Grobler. Peter Grobler is P4, 0.2 behind Ernest Heather. Lionel Klug is 5th, 0.4 behind Peter Grobler. Lionel Klug is now 4th. Lionel Klug lost P4 to Ernest Heather. Peter Geldenhuis is 6th, 0.7 behind Lionel Klug. Lionel Klug is 5th, 0.4 behind Ernest Heather. Ernest Heather is 5th, 0.1 behind Lionel Klug. Peter Geldenhuis is 6th. Tommy Glad is 7th, 0.7 behind Peter Geldenhuis. Peter Geldenhuis on lap 11 is P6, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Lionel Klug is 4th, 0.3 behind Ernest Heather. Peter Geldenhuis entering the pits is P8.